Okay, so metal circle ring, right? And then we have to make sure we clean out all the crevices because these rings have tons of gunk when they come from the factory. Let's see how it's hollowed out in the center. You could probably put anything you want in there depending if it'll stick or not. But I am going to clean up 4, but I'll probably only show 1 if I could even complete it. See the gunk? There we go. It is easier with a cotton ball, but I don't have any, so this is the next best thing. Sorry about the sniffling. I'm trying not to. Oh, by the way, how I'm cleaning it is with alcohol. I have 1, 2, 3 I've already cleaned. Yeah, dirty that Q-tip tip is. And then they come in these little packages. So, I like to use the silicone trays to put underneath the UV light. I'm going to get a little more alcohol. Prefer the 90% or up alcohol cleaner. Sorry. But any alcohol will really do to get the dirt out of here. Okay. This one wasn't so bad. And then just kind of let them dry. Okay. There's that. And then what I'm going to make with these ones today, and I'm sorry about this being dirty, I just use it as a tray. Usually won't cause any problems or ruckus. So what I'm going to use today is this ideology. I found all the little sayings in here is pretty kind of neat. So I'm going to pick out a saying. Now the bigger rings are usually for masculine fingers. But I gotta remember the size in the middle. See, my thumb is pretty loose on my thumb. I think these are 11s and 12s. Yeah, actually, there's 2 size 11s and 2 size 12s. 11s and 12s. So, I've got she was a strange little girl, but I don't know, so I'm just kind of measuring it out. I'm not going to show everything on how I do it, just measure it out. I don't know, I kind of like she was a strange little girl. She was a strange little girl. Together we will sit and rest. She remembered it was something precious. Like, I don't know. The intensity of her stare. Still climbing heavenward. That might be a really good one. It's going to be short. There's going to be a lot of ring left. So, we also have to find something to fill in along. I like this one. Oh, I'm going to use Still Climbing Heavenward. There's a lot of people that believe that they still need to climb heavenward, which is the truth, right? So, now I've got to figure out if this is going to fit or if I'm going to need to trim it. Now it's a little sticky on the back. I find that other things are good being able to be glued. But if I can stick this in here, without gluing. It helps with bumping for me. We are going to have to trim this up. So what I'm going to do is I am going to force, you should never say that, but if you're a crafter, you're going to say it. We're going to force this in here. And it ain't going to work. So what I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to trim it. So, I'm going to find myself some scissors. Everything's mixed up. Sorry, I did not have scissors right by my side. So I want to trim this. I'm going to take a little off the top. Just a little dab. Remember, you can always trim a little bit, but you can't put it back on once it's been trimmed. Probably kick myself in the butt for not measuring things out and all that stuff, but that's how I like to do everything myself. Let's see if this works. Nope, so I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom. That actually will equal it out a little bit. I kind of want it to be a little snug in there. Let's see if that works. Yep. Still climbing heavenward. Right. Still climbing heavenward. Right. I'm going to take my, I think I'm going to take my little thing that's got, don't mind it, use this thing for everything, so it's bent and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to kind of stick it down a little bit and see if it sticks better. I might have to do a little bit of glue in, maybe just a little bit, or maybe not, as long as it sticks long enough for me to be able to do what I need to do, I'll be happy. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry about that. That's gross. I'm getting over something the kids brought home. I hope I'm getting over it. I don't know. I've had it for a week. Okay, now we still have all of that. We could do anything we want with all of this back here. Right? Those are going to have to be stuck down. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, I think I'm going to put a little bit of UV resin behind it. Now be careful with the UV resin. I like this stuff so far, but it could be clearer. I haven't found one that, I don't like the ones that Joann sells, Joann Fabrics. I did try the UV resin for Jdiction. I'm going to put it in the shadows. Maybe if it comes out, I've used quite a bit of it. Just a tidbit, because I'm going to tell you what, the sun's going to hit it, and it's going to dry up real quick, because it is UV. So I'm going to take a little bit, I'm going to put it back here, and then I'm going to, you should be using gloves and masks. As you see, I'm not, and I should be. Believe me, you should be. But this is just for demonstration purposes. And then press that down. Bring your little tool back over here to press it down. Alright. And what I'm going to do, I should have my light. Oh my gosh, I'm so unprepared for this. I've got my big old UV light over here. So I'm going to stick it under the UV light for a couple of seconds so it'll attach itself. I like doing it this way. I'm sure a resiner who's been doing it for years is probably like, yeah, it won't work. But to me, as long as it sticks temporarily for what I need it to stick for, in the long run, I didn't have to deal with the sticky glue and shit. Stuff. Sorry. So, there we go. It's hardened up good enough that I can actually turn off my light. And see, there's your resin. And there's the resin. It's nice and firm. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay. Now, I am going to, since I picked that, I've got like little fillers that I can use. And of course, like I said, here, so you don't get to see my fillers. I could use glitters. I could use, what else I got for fun? White little stars. I could use, I'm just looking to see if there's anything that stands out that I absolutely want to use for this. I don't think I have like any angels or anything. I have Christmas trees and like little, I don't have any angel heads, so that won't work. Let's see what else I have. Some charms. I don't know if I want to use that though either. I've got some clouds I could use. I've got some lilies. I have so many things I can use. And this is what happens. As a crafter, you know, we get overwhelmed with all the opportunities and things we can do. I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do as long as I have the time. I am going to use, I think I'm going to use some glitter. Excuse me. I kind of like the idea of light blue glitter. Light blue, maybe a little white. What do you think about that light blue? I don't know. Still climbing heavenward. I think light blue, and then maybe on top of that I'll put some white. Maybe a cloud or some stars. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so how I'm going to do this, and again, all these resin people probably are like, oh, don't do that. But you know what? What's it going to hurt, right? Oh, this might be dry already. See, look at how fast that dried up. Because I have sun actually coming in my kitchen at this moment. Now in an hour or less, I won't have any sun. Alright, let me think of how I want to put my resin in so that way it doesn't dry up. I'm going to put it over where you guys can't see it at the moment. And then I'm going to take this little tip, I think, and spread it on. Or what I could do, where did I even put my resin? Oh, good gravy. Oh, they fell on the floor. Whatever. I'm going to put a little resin way over here in my working space. And I'm not putting a lot because I don't want to waste it, just in case the sun does catch it. Put my lid on my alcohol. Please, guys, remember to do that. I have such a stuffy nose, I can't even tell that anything is going on. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to wipe this resin on here and try not to get it in the sun. No, I'm going to do the resin. I'm going to wipe the resin down here so I'm not in the sun. I'm only going to go up to the words. I don't want to go past the words because I don't want the words. I don't want the words to get filled up with resin. Then I'm going to take this. The resin is on there, so I got to work kind of quick. And I think what I'm just going to do, yeah, don't judge me, is I'm just going to go like this. And then get my glitter all up in there. Then wipe it off. What works best, guys? Baby wipes is where I found works so good to remove almost anything that you do working with resin. There we go. You can see how that's cleaning up. And like I said about the resin, I don't want it on the words at this moment because I don't want the glitter to get there. I'm going to take my little scraper tool thingy, kind of clean that up too. Yeah, I should be having my baby wipes too. Don't judge me. Like I said, this was off the fly. And I got to put everything away because our house is really tiny. So I don't have a special work area yet. When I work with the big resin, I do that outside. And I'm in Ohio, so that time has gone. So now it's just little things. You can always check me out on Facebook. I know that's an old place, but my title's Check Out My Knots. And knots is spelled Knotz. My husband came up with that, and I thought it was kind of cool because I am very into crochet and knitting and all sorts of stuff that has to do with yarn. Look how pretty that's going to be. That's going to be pretty. Look at that. I'm going to put this underneath my light to dry it a little bit. Yeah, 40 seconds, whatever. Not even that long, really. I'm going to put that away because I kind of hear my baby stirring. So he'll be up here in a minute. And then I think what I'm going to pick next is, you know, see, I don't know if I really want those clouds because see the clear, that's going to show up. So maybe, I'm so sorry about the sniffing. I'm really trying not to. Let's see what we got here in this little fun kit while my ring is doing its thing. I got blue diamonds. I got silver. I kind of wanted to use, how about these white ones? That's kind of heavenly looking, isn't it? put a couple of those white stars. I kind of like that instead of the clouds. I don't have any little clouds. But let's see what the stars will look like. Maybe that'll be just enough. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't post this because it's so gross. There's a couple little stars. And then, okay, so how I'm gonna do this is kind of like a diamond dot thing. So there's that. That's really pretty. Hell, I mean, heck, if someone doesn't want to buy this, I just might keep it for myself. See, it's nice and firm. That's good. That's sticky. Good. So what I'm gonna do next, I think what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of resin on the tip of this. Because I want it small. I don't want it huge. So I'm going to put a little resin there. And then I'm going to pick it up kind of like a diamond dot. No, it's not going to let me. I'm going to pick it up with my big fingers. And then I'm going to place it on top of the resin. And I'm kind of going to just let it do its own thing. If it wants to lay there, I think I'm going to just let it lay there. Yeah, but you know what? I lied. I'm going to use the bigger tip, which is huge actually. And I'm going to put a little bit more because we're going to cover it all with resin anyway. So it doesn't matter as long as, like I said, just kind of let it lay where it wants to lay. I know there's resin underneath it. So once, it's not like glue. Like resin won't act like glue. So, and if you get it on the metal, get it off the metal because you don't want to have the resin messing up the metal part. And I think I'm going to just do that. I think I'm going to put the stars there. I really do. Put one there, maybe. There we go. And then I think I'm going to do one more. Because I kind of think this will be cool. Looking like it is. Oops. Like I said, you definitely should be having gloves on. I know with this resin, I've touched it so many times that I'm not having a reaction to it. But if I was using resin that I've never used before, I might have something in there. And see how I kind of didn't, I don't want it to be perfectly flush. Though I don't like that side. Let's get this side up here. There we go. Like that. Because when you're looking at it, when I'm looking at it, I can see it was like the back side of the plastic. And I don't like the way that looks. Okay. There we go. And then I'm just kind of off-centering, trying to off-center it so it kind of looks like not center. I'm going to put it under my light again. That's going to be pretty. All right. I'm going to put it under my light. Kind of let it shine in the resin light. If my light decides it wants to work. There we go. So it's shining. Excuse me. Underneath my light, it almost looks like these stars are glowing. I'm going to put my other stars away. Oh, these are one of a kind, definitely, because these sayings, you're not going to find them besides, like, in this book, you know. The book if you want to know, I did get from Joann's, if you think that's a good idea. A lot of time that tape, that mousy tape or whatnot that people use for scrapbooking, that's what a lot of people will use to do this with. I just thought it would be a kind of a neat idea that maybe a heartfelt message on a ring that's actually, you know, made for someone really special in your life, or that's going through a hard time. No. I like the one I made myself, but sometimes my hands are swollen and sometimes they're not. And I'm working on this stuff, and let's see if this is good for now. I just want it to be able to stick. Oh, it's stuck. It's so stuck. It's stuck. Look at that pretty so far. I think this is going to be beautiful. All right, I want to clean it up a little bit because I don't want glitter on my edge. Now, I am using the hard, I think it's called hard. Let me find my resin again. I put it out of the sun, so I always like hide it from myself. It's a hard type resin, 100G, but hard makes things go slower. I know it doesn't say hard on here, but it is what I ordered. So when you're spinning your ring so that it makes it equal, let's see, I can't do it like that. Let's see, nope. So I need to find, of course, I need to find something else. Let's see. I do have a ring sizer I've been using to spin it. Let's see if it's still in here. Do you know, I started this idea with these rings. So the first thing I bought were these rings to try to do the UV resin. And it has progressed into big items, small items, jewelry items, non-jewelry items, and excuse me, it's very, very addicting once you start. Because you can basically make anything. Oh yeah, I guess I just found out too that you can make your own molds. So guess what I'll be doing probably next year? Creating my own molds. Whee! Right? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to start putting my resin on. I am using this pink, I have to unplug it. I can't unplug it. It's a pink Resin UV light. And, you know, uh-oh, the baby's up. I better be quiet. I'm going to put some on. And a little bit. Can go a long way. I'm actually going to try the Jdiction on top because it seems to be a lot slower. Now, I don't know if it's getting old. I just bought it. I absolutely love the Jdiction resin that you use outside because it's basically odorless. But this I haven't been too happy with. Now, like I said, the hard, it spreads very slowly, which is kind of what we need to do, because as you can see, it's starting, I don't know if you can see. Anyways, it's starting to move as I'm moving the ring, but you kind of want to make sure that there is an even layer, and this is not easy. You have all these professional resin people who just fly through this part of it, and it made it look so easy. It's not easy. You get clumps, you know, where the resin decides it wants to clump up. And to make it look pretty, you have to make sure it's equal, or you get resin on the outside of the ring. So I think we are back to the beginning here. And see over here, see how it's clumped up? Now I'm in the sun. I could technically use the sun to cure this resin, which is what I might do at this moment. Can you see that? And I was going to suggest that you, when you do it, and if you use a UV light, I see a spot I'm already going to have to fix. When you do it and you use a UV light, you probably want to set your ring either in the window where you have natural sunlight come, or you want to put it outside for just a couple minutes. Let that spread a little bit. There we go. That was starting to clump a little bit. Get that back in the sun. Damn it. Gotta watch the bubbles. It's starting to clump in certain spaces. So even though I do have it in the sun, I want to make sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to spin it and put my light on and make sure my light lets me spin it. I hear children, so you're going to probably start hearing them cry. But I am almost done with this. Excuse me. Plus I gotta blow my nose. But I am almost done with this. And my timer says 32 minutes, so this is about a 40-minute process. And then, honestly, I would let it set in the sun all the rest of the day. Once this hardens enough that it's not gonna clump. Because it just, I don't think the UV light works as good as actual real UV. I mean, I know it's supposed to be, but whatever. This is going to be a beautiful ring when it's done. I've been making family rings that have birthstones. A saying about something in a family that has birthstones. They've been coming out beautiful, and I really wish I would have gotten a picture. My husband has been wearing these rings that I'm making as wedding rings. Oh, shit. See, look, it's hard. I can't get to that bubble. So now for me, I will always see that bubble. But it is almost done. You don't want to touch it too much with your fingers because you'll put fingerprints in it. I found that stuff out, but look at it, that's hard. And it turned out absolutely gorgeous. Sure did. Sure did. Still climbing heavenward with this beautiful glitter. Look at that in the sun. How beautiful that is. Yeah. This one is a size 12. it will be up for grabs if you're interested. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye. I gotta take care of the babies now. Bye-bye.